Gather round, all of you who would listen. I have a tale to tell. A story of warriors and kings. A saga of dark magic. A legend of high adventure.
Last save loaded.
Hello and welcome to the Last Save Loaded podcast. I'm Jake Del Toro, and over there on the other side of the pond is...
GBJoey. How you doing, Jake?
I'm very well, mate.
You've recovered from your heavy weekend, I see.
Yeah, I've just about. I'm a little bit achy, a little bit tired, but not too bad, all things considered.
Well done. Well, it's to be expected, Good. What did you get up to? Briefly, don't go into too much detail, of course.
Well, this weekend gone was my stag do. I'm getting married in, well, it's just under a fortnight now, actually. It has now come round quick. So Saturday morning we went paintballing, and then Saturday night we went into Liverpool on a night out, and I was obviously dressed up like a complete twat.
I've seen some pictures. It must have been very uncomfortable.
To be honest, it wasn't actually that uncomfortable. It was a little bit warm, considering it was such a thin suit.
Right.
For those who haven't seen the pictures on Twitter or Facebook, I was dressed up in a morph suit, which, for anyone who might not know, is just basically an all-in-one lycra suit with a hood on it. But the hood's facing backwards, so you're basically completely covered. Yeah, I had a top hat on as well and a nice sash.
What did the sash say?
It just said "groom to be."
Fantastic.
To be honest, I've got to admit, I was expecting to look like a complete dick, because my best man was a guy I was best man for last October, and I dressed him up in a tutu on his.
Oh,
so
yeah. Was that the trip to Barcelona?
That was the one, yeah. Yeah. So, it was to be expected, really. But we had a really good night anyway.
Brilliant.
Just about recovered.
Brilliant.
How about yourself? What have you been up to this weekend?
Well, not much, really. Just packing, ready to go. I've been on holiday. As you know, August is holiday month here in Spain, and people are out and about. The city's quite full of tourists as well. It's buzzing. It really is. Lots of street music, and because this week are fiestas, which is just a street party basically in Spanish, and you got fun fairs and attractions and stuff all set up along the bay, and as I said, street musicians, people performing in the streets, those statues, those guys that pretend to be like statues, and jazz bands, and it's really, really lively. The city really comes alive, and also with all this Pope stuff going on in Madrid, you've got lots of people from different countries that have come to visit San Sebastian as well before they go to Madrid. Yeah, I've just been out. I haven't been in the house really. I've just been out and about and just getting ready as well to go to London, which I'm leaving for pretty soon. So nothing much. Just trying to relax and just get out of the loop of the usual, day-to-day working, and just try and forget work for a month if I can.
It's all right for you teachers. You've got all of August off, haven't you?
Well, yeah, that's all of August, yeah, but there are teachers that get longer holidays, like, August and September, but unfortunately we're not in that bracket. We
boo, only 4 weeks off. What a shame.
Yeah, no,
my heart
but
bleeds for you, mate, honestly, it does.
No, I can't complain. It's fantastic, because we got great holidays at Christmas and also 2 weeks at Easter, so I really can't knock that. So really, I've also been playing some games as well. I've been taking time out at home, the little time I've spent at home, because the missus has been working. I've been sat in front of my PS3 and my Xbox, and just been trying some new stuff. I've been trying Bulletstorm and things like this with a couple of members from the forums. And I've been trying to platinum a couple of games as well. Haven't done it successfully. Infamous I was playing and tried to platinum that, but I think I'm about 4 or 5 stunts short, which I can't quite do for some reason. So
not far off then.
No, not far off. I just need the trade. I went round looking for the bloody shards, which took me the best part of a good day and a half, just looking for shards everywhere, and I missed one, and I must have spent a good 4 or 5 hours looking for this just one. And I got the map up on the internet and stuff, and I was looking for it house by house, And it's a pain. It's like the Assassin's Creed feathers. You know what I mean? It's just looking for that and trying to find each and every one. It's just these collectibles. They drive me mad. But unfortunately, you can't skip the trophy if you want to get the platinum. So you have to sit there and go through it really.
No,
painstakingly one by one.
Have you taken to any guides yet, or have you just been sort of wandering around aimlessly?
No. I think I collected a quarter of the shards. There's a trophy for that. Then there's another one for half the shards, of 50%. And I collected all those, and I thought, well, there can't be many left. I've got the majority, well, half or slightly more than half. What I thought was only a little or very few left, and it turned out to be quite a number. I mean, a good 30 or 40. And then it was just this last one. I think I was going through them quite quickly because the guide on the internet was pinpointing them exactly where they were on buildings or sides of buildings, and it wasn't too much trouble trying to find them because you just push the L3 button. It emits this sort of like a radar beam around coal, and you can see where the blue dot is. So you more or less, the game tells you where they are, really. But it was just this last one I just couldn't find anywhere. And suddenly just walking down an alley, I just suddenly pressed the pulse button. And this little blue dot came up, and I think I must have jumped about 4 foot in the air when I saw that it was there. And I eventually got, yeah, great, got it, and that was me, trophy. So now I'm just, like I say, four stunts short from getting a platinum, and that's it really. Just playing games, just doing what I like doing best, just messing about on the game consoles.
Cool. I've actually heading for. I'm not far off a platinum myself on Red Dead Redemption.
Oh, right.
I think it's been a bit too long since we've mentioned Red Dead, so I'll mention it now.
It didn't get one on the last episode, did it? Really?
No.
Did it get a mention?
That's it. It's been 2 episodes since we've mentioned it, so I'll just drop it in now. I've completed it. Well, for the 4th time, I think now, but I've completed it for the first time on my relatively new gamer tag on my PSN. Because I decided I was sick of my old PSN ID, basically, and started again. And I've decided to try and go for the platinum on Red Dead on this one. And I think I'm about 6 trophies away now. I actually finished the story mode. Was it last week? It must have been last week sometime. And saw the credits.
Yeah, I remember. When was it? When we played last, we were both on there a couple of weeks ago, and we were doing a couple of trophies together, weren't we? Trying to do the long shots and a few other multiplayer ones.
It was roundabout then. It's no less enjoyable than it has been before. Still, absolutely love that game. It's
great. It is great. So, why are we here then, Jake? Give us a bit of an intro. Nobody, except for 1 or 2 people, will probably know what we're playing next. And I think it's a game that's not very well known. And this is idea, as you may know or may not know, we're going to be joined on the main episode by a very special guest, which is Chris O'Regan from the Super Happy Funtime Show. And he suggested this game to us, right?
He did, yeah. When we first started the podcast, he emailed us quite early on into our tenure and suggested a few games. And when he emailed in, I asked him, or it might have been you asked him, whether he'd consider coming on as a guest, and he kindly said he would. So we asked him which game out of the ones he'd suggested that he'd most like to play, and he picked this one. It's called The Mark of Cree. I think that's how you pronounce it. It could be The Mark of Cry, spelt K-R-I. And to be honest, I'd never even heard of it before. And I think you were in a similar position, weren't you? I don't think you'd heard of it either.
No, I was in exactly the same position as you. And when we had our meet in London over Easter, you handed this to me as well. This is one of the games that you gave me when I was over on my visit, which I mentioned on the show. I said that I had a game that I didn't want to talk about in an earlier episode. And I actually was quite intrigued because I thought I'd really like to see what this is about. It looks, from the box art, it looks very Japanesey, and it looks very nice and very very colourful. It looks like a cartoon, I think. And I'm really really interested to see what this is like. I've heard lots of not lots. Some people say that it's a very very good game to play because it's very colourful and full of drawing sequences, and I've had a sneak peek and it looks wonderful.
Yeah, it does look good, but I've got to admit I thought it looked Japanese as well when I first looked at the box art and looked at a few things online, but when I did a little bit of research on it, I was quite surprised that it was actually developed by Sony San Diego Studios.
It's got this I don't know if I really want to say this, but it's got this Disney look about it. You know, the pictures and some of the art that I've seen, some of the artwork that I've seen. I won't go into detail now, but on the main episode there'll be other things about characters and stuff. But there are sequences which I've seen that are really, really. They appear on screen as if they're drawn by a pencil. You know, on it's almost like a sketch, and it starts to fill in really quickly. Some of the characters they have this Disney appearance about them, and they look really, really colourful and well animated as well. It's very nice.
Yeah, I noticed that when I first loaded it up, and when I'd watched a few videos on YouTube as well of gameplay, and I noticed the animation looked surprisingly good for a game of this age. I mean, I think it was released in early 2003 in Europe, and I was expecting it to look a little bit ropey, to be honest. I don't know why. Bit of prejudice there against PS2, but I was expecting it to look a little bit ropey, and I was quite surprised by how good it looked. Yeah,
it does. I love the way it's presented to you when you play it and you put it on and the story begins. It's a very open book sort of sequence story. It's not exactly like that, but it lets you in bit by bit, and it begins to introduce you to where this character is. You get a small tutorial and things, and which we'll go into detail at a later point. But you do get this. There's a very nice intro, and I quite enjoyed seeing how the story, and I was glued to the screen because I really wanted to see where this was taking me, and I was intrigued, as I said before. I'd really like to give it a go and play through it right to the end this time, of course, as always.
Yeah, there were a couple of games when we first started, weren't there? We didn't manage to finish, but we have sort of made it one of our resolutions that we will finish all the games from now on. But yeah, I was.
We finished Killzone.
Say again, sorry. What was that, Joe?
We finished Killzone as the first promise, so that's this one's got to be the next one, really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think my first impressions were probably similar to yours. Actually, I was quite captivated by it. I was a little bit unsure. I thought the videos I'd seen on YouTube made it look pretty fun, but I've got a feeling this could turn into one of those hidden gems that you come across every now and again. Something that you maybe wish you'd have heard of when it was first released, and I think it's a bit of a shame that we missed it. But saying that, we get to play it now, which will hopefully make up for it.
Yeah, I think it's a nice game. It's certainly attractive. It's attracted me, and it's certainly got my attention. And I don't know how I missed it, because this is the sort of thing that I enjoyed playing back then as well. You know, the old cartoony effects that you get, in games that are all, story driven. So
yeah, and
I don't know how this got away, really.
Yeah, it's surprising given that it was actually developed by Sony. It must have been an exclusive, that it wasn't pushed a little bit more, and it wasn't a little bit more well known, because you'd think they'd really want to get behind their own games. But the people I've mentioned it to so far, I'd say 4 out of 5 of them haven't even heard of it like us. And we call ourselves gamers, we've not even heard of this one.
Well, this is one of the reasons that we're here, and I think that highlights exactly what Last Save Loaded is all about. Going back to dig through the old games, older games, should I say, and try and bring out the gems like this, the ones that look really good, and have people suggesting, as this in the case of Chris, games that we missed the first time round that really are worth playing. And that's what we do. That's what we're here for, really, isn't it?
It is, definitely. Yeah, it's that's one of the reasons I'm really looking forward to getting my teeth stuck into it, because I've never played it before, and it's like you say, this podcast's a perfect opportunity, isn't it? It's a brilliant excuse to go back and play some of those games that we've missed in the past.
Certainly.
And this is definitely one of them. And as I say, it looks like it's going to be one of those. A hidden gem, I think, is probably the right phrase for it.
I don't think it's very long as well. I remember Chris saying that it's not an extremely long game. It's very very easy once you get to grips with the controls and stuff, and you've got to pay attention to the story, of course, and follow it through. But I think the story takes you right the way through the game, and before you know it, it's suddenly the end credits start rolling. I think it's that sort of game that grabs you from the beginning and then doesn't let go until you really think that that's the end and I can't go any further, and then you suddenly go, oof, I really enjoyed that. I'm expecting a lot from this game, really, because it's who it's recommended by, and also the look of what I've been playing up to now. So I do think that it is going to be as we said earlier, a gem. What else are you expecting? Well, the animation's going to be good, and that the story is story driven. And from what you've seen so far, what are you expecting apart from that?
To be honest, I'm not sure, because it's so much of an unknown quantity to me. I'm really not sure what to expect. So I'm just sort of going in with eyes wide open, hoping for a sort of a good new experience. Mm-hmm. And I think, to be honest, I think that's all I can say I'm expecting. I'm obviously hoping to have fun with it, hoping that the story will be intriguing, and
it certainly looks
enjoy
it, and I'm hoping for a few surprises as well.
Yeah, who knows? The other thing I wanted to say was that there's a couple of people who've already asked us what we're going to be playing because they want to play along with us, and from what I've played so far, I'd definitely say it's worth recommending, and if anyone wants to grab it and play along, then please do, and let us know what you think, because it'd be great to have some listener feedback for the main episode as well.
Certainly. For those of you that missed it, it's the Mark of Cree, or Cry.
Kri.
That's it, yeah. PS2.
It's cheap as chips on Amazon.
And I've played the first bit and enjoyed it, and it looks like it's going to be a real good ride, I think, with this, because it's I don't know what else to say. I don't know what else I can add. Blah. Anyway, yes, that's it.
Yeah, it's fun so far. We'll leave it at that. Shall we take a quick break and then come back with a couple of pieces of listener feedback?
Yeah, okay.
And a couple of questions.
Straight after this.
Are you tired of Dad?
Dad, no one wants to hear your stupid Vietnam stories.
Are you tired of Mom?
Hi, Angel. Do you want to read a book or go outside?
No!
The arcade comes to your living room, only without the creepy guys offering to show you puppies.
Awesome!
The Degenitron. You can play video games just like you were in the arcade.
Excellent!
The Degenitron gaming system plays 3 exciting games, including Defender of the Faith, where you save the green dots with your fantastic flying red square.
Cool!
Monkey's Paradise, where you swing from green dot to green dot with your red square monkey.
That's rad!
And Penetrator, where you smash the green dots deep inside the mysterious red square.
Wow!
The Degenitron brings arcade realism to your living room. It can even take quarters, and a strange, sweaty man comes by to empty the machine on Fridays. Degenitron, fighting the evil of boredom.
I'll never go to school again!
Okay, and welcome back. Jake, we got some mailbag and some questions from a few listeners. Do you want to hear them?
Yeah, these are ones that we actually did answer when we last recorded a Quicksave, and it was lost. So we'll go back over these.
Mm-hmm. That was the lost save loaded.
Yeah, it was the one. It was the Quicksave for Killzone, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm. That was it. The one we didn't do, but we did do, but it didn't go out. Yeah, that's the one.
We lost it due to those pesky gremlins.
We've got 3 questions. One from dear old friend Tom Fun, and he asks, do you think the online services of older consoles should be left alone, or would you like to still play the games that do have online capabilities? What do you think?
I think if there's demand for it, then it's fine. I mean, you've got the fan servers now. Mm-hmm. I think there's a few that run for Dreamcast and PS2.
That's right.
2 games, and I think they probably serve what the people who use them are looking for. I mean, to be perfectly honest, I'm not going to go back and play PS2 or Dreamcast titles online, I don't think. But
this is something that... no, go on.
Yeah, I was just going to say, but, I mean, if there's if the fans are there and are willing to put the servers up, then I think that's great. But I do think it's a shame that the sort of online services do have to be switched off. I mean, I think it might have been the start of last year, or was it earlier this year? I'm sure it was last year, that there was quite a few old Xbox titles, and they lost their online capabilities. I think Halo 2 was one of them. Mm-hmm. There was quite a bit of outcry about it. I think it is a shame, but it obviously costs these companies money to keep them running. So, do we want money spent on things that aren't being used that much at the expense of future things? Maybe it's not that simple. But
I'm inclined to agree with what you've just said, and also I think it goes back to what Jay said. Do you remember we were talking about the Killzone episode, and that he tried to delve into the multiplayer, and he didn't try it in the end, as he says. But I think it would have been pretty bare, because I don't think people are really, going back to PS2 to play multiplayer games when they have games like we have today that are far more, that are far more productive, because they give you a lot more, or they offer a lot more. For example, the Killzone 3, Killzone 2, and those are much more interesting games. They're better based. They have more of a following. I don't think people just take Killzone 1 as a multiplayer game. I don't think that's what those things. But I mean, if there are people that still want to play it, then yes. But I think it's a minority, to be honest. I don't think it's the majority. I think the people like us prefer to move on to the next best thing in terms of multiplaying and servers, because it's newer, it's better, it's faster, and there's more on there, really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think FIFA's probably a good example. I bet there's not many people playing FIFA 2005 online, if there was online capability on that anyway.
Or 2006, 2007, if that,
Yeah, I mean, the 99.9% of FIFA players, or online players, are going to be playing the new one, aren't they?
Certainly.
But, if the fan servers are there, that's brilliant. But I can understand why that the online services are turned off by the companies, if it's a sort of a drain on resources.
Yeah, no, I think it's the best. It's the best solution sometimes, because you think you're wasting money. Well, wasting money. There are always going to be, as you say, people interested in playing these games. But if there's something better further down the line, then people are not going to go back and play something that's older just for the multiplayer, or just I think they're going to have their systems or their consoles updated to play the next best thing. I think we all strive to that, and that's what we look for when you buy a new game. Is it going to be better than the last one that they've made? I'm thinking of FIFA here and PES. Is this going to have, what improvements are going to be given to me here and now in terms of multiplayer, single player? Are there going to be new things to discover? Is this going to make my multiplayer experience a lot better? I don't think I would ever sort of want to go back and play 2004, 2005 even. I think not after what you've experienced now. But then, fair enough if you do. Why not?
Anyway, next question.
Okay, next question is from a friend of the show, Hit Me Mister. Well, Tom is also a friend of the show, by the way, but another one. 2 questions, lads. Which and why? Okay, attention here. PS2 with all games released, or N64 with all games released. That's all you have until your thumbs drop off. What's it going to be?
I know instantly, and it's going to have to be a PS2 for me, and it's just because of the sheer number of games, and there's also a couple of games in there that I think would just pip the N64 games. The one that instantly came to mind was Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, which I think just you could have endless fun with, I think. I mean, I still play that. Not very often, but I do still go back to San Andreas, and it's still great fun. Now, although it was a quick answer and it came to me straight away, it wasn't quite as simple as that, because there are some great games on the N64. GoldenEye, obviously, Ocarina of Time, Mario 64 and Mario Kart. I mean, they probably keep you going for ages, and you probably wouldn't tire of them either, I don't think. Well, maybe eventually, but you'd certainly get a decent stretch out of them. But I think just because of the the sheer amount of PS2 games that there are, I'd have to go with the PS2.
Me too. I'm not a big Nintendo fan to begin with. I've always been a PS1, PS2 gamer, really, because I think more even so than the PC. Although, I mean, I think I'd be open to try these and try and dabble with either the N64 or the PC, just to see, what the experience is like. But I think as a PS2 and certainly a PlayStation fan, I would go also with the PS2 with all games released, and also because, as you say, it's those old titles that make it the difference. One of the titles I enjoyed playing was Driver. That was hours and hours of fun, like San Andreas. You just go around doing missions, driving to the city, and okay, the graphics were not fantastically great, but it was just something good that you could sit down in front of the controller for a while and have fun for as long as you wanted.
That was PS1 though. This is a PS2 with all games.
Isn't
I suppose there was a Driver game, actually, wasn't there, on the PS2?
There was one that was going back and forth. It was started with the 60s.
Parallel Lines, wasn't it?
That's the one. That was it called. That was it. I've had hours of fun with that game. It's great. It's great fun.
Yeah, I really like the Driver games, particularly the first one. The first one was fantastic. I had hours and hours of just sheer joy with that. It was amazing. I loved it when it first came out. I still played it actually on the PSP not so long ago. I had a PSP last year. I ended up selling it or trading it against something, but I got Driver on that, and it was still great fun to pick up and play, especially on the loo. Perfect loo game. Just do a couple of missions on the loo. Fantastic.
Yeah. Nothing like good skid marks, eh? Hey, I'm here all week. Anyway, as you rightly say, I think that PS2 has a lot of... I wouldn't say all the games. I would be happy with the games that I've enjoyed playing and the ones that I own at the moment, like Driver, like San Andreas. The list is endless, but I think it's done. I think I would certainly pick the PS2.
Cool. Next question.
Okay, this is from our friend Sculacci. Hello there. He wants to know, how did you come up with the name Last Save Loaded? Where did this come from?
It was quite a drawn-out process, I think, because we had decided that we were going to do the podcast, and then the format was settled pretty much instantly, wasn't it? And we struggled with a name for a while. There were a few that we thought of that were rejected for one reason or another. One, because we found out that there was another podcast called that, wasn't there? I think, what was it? Yeah. Reload and Replay, or something along those lines. Anyway, we'd thought of that. I think you'd thought of that one, and then we did a bit of research on it and found out that there was already a podcast called that. And I think you'd come up with a name, or suggested something to do with saves and maybe a last save, and I think we'd sort of settled on Last Save Reloaded for a while, haven't we? And then decided it was perhaps one too many syllables, and cut it down to Last Save Loaded.
Well, it's been cut down even further because people refer to it affectionately as LSL now.
Leisure Suit Larry.
Yeah, well, that's the other competition that we have. But yeah, I think it was much. I think it was a bit of both. I think we'd had the loaded bit, and then we were thinking something about reloaded, as you say, and then the first bit was the last save. Something was missing. I think we just put half and half together, really, and we just came up with the name like that, and it had a nice ring to it, and I think it was just chosen instantly. I think it popped up straight away. The minute when we saw it written down and we were discussing this over Skype one day, we just suddenly thought, well, yeah, that's got a nice ring to it. So it's a name that people will remember as well, even though it's a bit long. I do like it.
No, I think the other names that we'd sort of talked about, we were never 100% with, were we? But as soon as we saw Last Save Loaded written down and we'd said it, I think instantly we knew that was the name we were going to go for.
It was a bit like choosing the tattoo, wasn't it? I don't know what design I'm going to get. I'm going to get this, going to get that, and then suddenly you think, bang, that's it, that's the one I want. And Yes, there it is, tattooed on the thigh. No, it's not.
So that's how we came up with the name.
Yeah. Okay, anything else to add, or should we go into the housekeeping stuff?
That's it for questions and feedback. One thing we did want to mention was that it was just about the new forum. Obviously, Gamer Dork, the forums are going to be shutting down at the end of August because Gamer Dork is now part of the Character Select network, and rather than each of the component parts having their own forums, they've decided to create, I suppose it's effectively a super forum, with all members being swallowed up into this one place. And it's looking good so far. It's quite busy. Everyone on there is really nice. No,
as always.
Yeah, that's it. It was. I mean, it's a shame that the Gamer Dork forums are shutting down because it was such a welcoming, and it was just a nice online space to be part of.
There are lots of nice gamers, but it's good as well that it's expanded like this into other fields because it means you get to meet more people as well.
That's it. And the gamer nights that are regularly set up on probably all of the different forums will probably become a lot more populated, and there'll just be more discussion in general. So it's all looking good so far.
There's a lot more to listen to as well because there are other podcasts, other comments, other blogs, other reviews, other people contributing.
Absolutely. So we may have picked up a few new listeners from the forum, so if you're listening for the first time, hello, and we hope you stick around.
Yeah, certainly. We've also got, we mentioned this before, but maybe not in too much detail, was the Facebook group as well. We've changed that, or what else do we do to it, Jake? What did you do?
Well, the group is effectively dead now. We've got a page, and rather than joining a group, if you like, just search Last Save Loaded, and you'll find the page, and if you just give us a like, that'd be fantastic. Mm-hmm. And while you're online, just click onto iTunes and give us a review on there as well, if you've got time.
Certainly. What else do we need to add for the old Quicksave? Anything else to comment?
I think we should probably give a quick apology to Chris because I think we were initially meant to record with Chris back in May, and for one reason or another we've had a lot of delays on each separate episodes and different things getting in the way. And then we had settled on a date of it was today actually, 15th of August, but obviously with me getting married and stag do's whatnot, you've been really busy at work up until you'd finished. We were just running a little bit tight, so we've had to put it back again. So thanks a lot to Chris, who's been quite understanding of it all. And we will get there eventually. We will record this episode for Mark of Cree. We've got him penciled it. Well, I've put it in marker pen now. It's definitely going to happen towards the start of September.
We've got a busy September as well because we also had invitations from other shows to go and appear on their podcasts as well. So September's going to be quite busy, I think.
Yeah, I'm moving house in September, which will help.
Take your microphone and your laptop with you wherever you go.
They'll be coming with me. I'll find time.
Yeah, we've had invitations from a few other podcasts which we have accepted because we've invited them on to our show as well, and they've accepted to come on. But I think it's a bit all up. It's all up in the air. What with you moving and everything else, the days I think are just nothing's been confirmed at the moment. So I think the best thing to do is just to say September for the moment until everything is settled and you've settled into your new home, and then things can start to roll from there. So as long as we get the main episodes out and the guests are on them, I think that's sufficiently good enough, I think.
Yeah, well, the Mark of Cree or Cry episode will definitely be out sometime in September.
Yeah.
As I say, we've got provisionally arranged the date. Well, not an exact date with Chris, but towards the start of September, because he's busy himself now till the end of August with
game fairs,
differing game expos and whatnot. So so sometime September.
Okay.
And I think, to be honest, I think that about wraps us up. I think we'll just give our contact details out and then let's get out of here.
Just looking here, see if there's anything else that we're missing. No, I think that's about it. We also need to give a bit of a pimp to the Dork Tunes lads as well, Matt Harrier and Evil Noob, who I think have got a new episode out pretty soon. They've got a very special guest, or they had a very special guest on, and it was I think I saw Matt or Evil Noob tweeting about it was just in the editing room, and it should be out pretty soon. So it's probably out already. If you haven't heard them before, it's all about game music. Certainly go across and download their podcast. It's certainly well worth a listen. For us, we're available on Twitter, on Facebook. We also have the forum page, of course.
The forum, it used to be GamerDork, obviously. Now we're at it's characterselect.net/forum. So if you want to go there, sign up there. We've got a feedback thread on that forum now.
Yeah, we have. So if you feel that maybe perhaps there's a game you want us to play, or there's something that might have been missed, even if you think it's a PS2 title, it's I've got an Xbox now, so Xbox will do as well. If you can make a suggestion, we'll certainly add it to the list, and we'll have a chat and get a few people maybe involved as well. They're playing through with us. Lots of games on the list at the moment, which we're not going to reveal, but certainly could do with a few more as the list gets longer and longer. It means there's more episodes and more to play through, and if listeners want to contribute and play along with us, then certainly drop us an email and let us know what you'd like to suggest. We'll have a chat about it and maybe announce it on a future episode.
Absolutely. So what's the email address, Joe? Do you want to give that out?
I was just about to give that out. It's you can contact us at lastsaveloaded@gamerdork.net. If you want to contact us personally, I'm GBJoey at gamerdork.net.
I am Jake at gamerdork.net.
Mm-hmm. We also have Twitter accounts. You can DM us, or even apart from the last Save Loaded, which is also a Twitter account which we both have access to. You can contact us personally. I am at GBJoey71 in numbers.
I am at Jake Del Toro, all one word.
Yes, so we'd be glad to hear from you. If you also have comments, suggestions, if you're new, if you think that maybe perhaps we should include, I don't know, you as a guest, if you want to come and guest on the show as well, you're certainly welcome. Yeah, let us know.
Before we leave, I'd just like to say a massive thanks to Jay, who's been editing the last couple of episodes for us, and he's obviously no longer part of GamerDork now, so he won't be editing for us anymore, but I'd just like to say thanks to Jay for all the work he did for us.
Certainly. Thank you, Jay.
And for being a top guest.
Yeah, it was a good episode. I listened back to it the other day and thought that was really, really good. Yeah, well done. Pat on the back for the three of us, I think. Okay, well, I've got some suitcases to pack and some stuff to get ready. So I have been GBJoey.
And I have been Jake Del Toro.
See you again soon with The Mark of Cry. Here's a bit of the game just to whet your appetite, and we'll catch you again on the next episode with Super Happy Chris O'Regan. Speak to you soon. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening.
Long ago, during the First Age, a series of dark spells were created. One of these spells had the power to breach our world and the one of darkness. An evil spell with no purpose but that of destruction. Before it could be invoked, it was stolen and broken into 6 separate parts, 6 lines, 6 incantations. It was hidden away in a place where none would find it. 6 different families entrusted with its safekeeping. You are the one we call Rao. Word of your skills in combat are spreading far, young man. I am looking to hire someone such as you. Someone looking for adventure. Someone who does not shy away from a challenge.
Lost, save, loaded.